Welcome to the video on frequency polygons. Let me get the title up here on our board. Frequency polygons. So what is a frequency polygon? Well, it's simply just, I guess let's start with the what does this word we already talked about what frequency means. It's just the number of times that you're counting something, a score per se. Let's talk about what this word polygon means. Poly is just our Greek word for many, and this gon portion here is its etymology is the word gonia, which means angles. So polygon just means many angles. So essentially what this is, a frequency polygon is a line graph that's going to have many angles to it depending on the frequency. So I've preloaded some data here. And so what we have here is our random variable x here, right here. Let me put that in blue so it shouldn't have shows up. Let's try that again. Our random variable x here, and we've got our frequency of that random variable x. And in this particular case, remember x is going to be the number of push-ups that a particular individual completed, or pull-ups, or whatever you want the exercise to be here. And so that is our random variable, and we are measuring this in our physical education class. And then this column over here is our frequency. And so what we want to do now is take this, and if you remember back to the video on simple frequency distributions, this is a simple frequency distribution. And this data, to be clear here, would have been just a series of random numbers, and we talked about how to organize them in the video on simple frequency distribution. And you're going to put them in order from either high to low or low to high so that you can organize them and then get your frequencies. And so that's what we've done here. We've done this off screen and loaded this data in as a kind of a JPEG file here. And now what we want to do is we want to graph it as a frequency polygon. And so let's go ahead and get some axes here for a graph. That's the best I can draw some axes here. Okay, not too bad. So this is going to be our y-axis, and down here this is going to be my x-axis. And remember that y we also kind of think of as our dependent variable and x as our independent variable. And so in this particular case, if we're identifying our independent and dependent variables, our dependent variable is the one that we're counting or we're measuring, and so that's the frequency here, right? That is the frequency, and so we're going to label this axis frequency. And frequency of what? Well, of these different scores here, 17, 16, and so on and so forth, the number of push-ups or pull-ups that they did. And so let's get this label down here. This was our random variable x corresponding with the x-axis, and we're going to call x the number of, I'm going to say, pull-ups that you measure in a middle school physical education class. And so what we need to do then is get the categories here. So I'm going to probably just count these off by, so number of pull-ups goes all the way up to about 17. So maybe if I count these off by twos here, we should be able to get maybe 9 kind of good intervals here. So let's start. We'll call this one 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. That should give us the different categories here. And I'll really be able to spread these out because we're going to have basically 10 ticks here because the highest frequency we have is 10. So let's start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, I might have to start over here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Let's put 9 in here, and we'll call that 10 up there. Okay. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just trying to give you the intuition for how these work, and I'm not able to put graph paper up here yet. Maybe it's something we can work on for future videos. So, all right, so what do we have here? Let's maybe switch to a different color here. Let me go back to the blue. It seems to show up pretty well. So with this number 17, right here. Well, let's build it from the bottom up. This might be a little bit more intuitive. So let's go down to the category of a 1. This category of a 1, that would be approximately right here on our number line. Okay, and it has 0. So I'm just going to put a circle right there, a dot that represents this 0 right here for 1. So we had 2 2s. So here's our next group, 2 2s. So here's my 2 category for the number, and I'll go up here to 2, frequency of 2 pull-ups. Now then look, I have a series of zeros. So at 3, we had 0 frequency. We had 4 people, or 0 people do 4 pull-ups. We had 0 people right here do 5 pull-ups. We had, I guess I could just cross these off as we kind of go through. We had 0 people do 6 pull-ups, and 0 people do 7 pull-ups. Well, when we get to 8 here, we had a frequency of 3. So 8, kind of go up to 3 here. That's approximately where we would be. So if we were kind of label some of these, here was our frequency of 2 there. Here was our frequency of 3 there. All right, so what do we have for 9? At 9, we had 5. So that's going to be approximately right here. And that was our 5. At 10, we had 9. So there was our 9. At 11, we had 10. That's going to put us up about right here. 11, we had 10. At 12, we dropped back down to 8. And there's our 8. At 13, I should be crossing these off again. Let's see, we did 11, 12. At 13, we have 7. And at 14, we have 7. So that was a 7, and that was a 7. 13, 14 done. At 15, we drop down to 5. There's our 5. 16, we go to 4. Put our 4 in. And at 17, we go down to 2. Again, you can see why we built it from left to right. It just was a little bit more intuitive. So now what we want to do, because it's many angles, we want to connect the dots and make our angles for the frequency polygon. So let me do my best ability here to kind of connect these. So if I go 2, here to 1. Okay, and then for these zeros, we're just going to lay a straight line over top of them. Very difficult to do abstractly in on one of these bamboo tablets here. So you're just going to have to bear with my artistic ability here. Flattens off here. Okay, and so this is a frequency polygon. So what you can see is the highest frequency was here around, the 10, 11, 12 pull-up range. Kind of, if we were just kind of highlight that back with maybe kind of some, well, let's do green, it'd be kind of in this area right here was where you saw the, greatest frequency of pull-ups. And so this is just another way of displaying your findings based on a simple frequency distribution. Generally, you're going to see frequency polygons be graphed from these types of simple frequency distributions that we have over here in this preloaded data in the white box that we have. That's it for frequency polygons. Thank you for watching the video.